All right, so by now you should be done your Chapter 5 exam and on to Chapter 6. So before we get going with Chapter 6, we're going to review some prior concepts needed to do well in this unit. So first of all, cross multiplication. You've seen this over and over again, but just as a review. Cross multiply, you multiply the numbers across from each other. So this will get you 15x equals 60. Then to get x by itself, you need to divide by the number attached to it. So divide by 15, and x will equal 4. So try that with all of these questions and make sure you get the answer that I have in green. Next, you need to work with fractions, decimals, and percents. So here we have fractions. 2 can always be written as a fraction by rewriting it as 2 over 1. Then when you're multiplying fractions, you multiply straight across. So 2 times 3 is 6, 1 times 4 is 4, and always fractions can be reduced to the lowest form, so we have 3 over 2 when this is reduced. Try the rest on your own. Division is slightly different because with division, you need to kiss and flip the last term. So what that means is you need to flip this last term and change your sign to multiplying. So we'll get 1/2 times 4 over 1, then multiply straight across. Equals 4 over 2, which can be reduced to 2. Number 3, to calculate percentages, we need to change each percent into a decimal by moving the decimal place 2 to the left. So that'll change 80% to 0.8. Then you just multiply by your other term to get the amount of that percent. Working with formulas. So we've also done lots of this. There will continue to be formulas in this course. When you're working with a formula, you just need to plug in what you're given and solve for the unknown variable. So for part A here, we have b equals 17, so we're going to put that in for b. C equals 21.4, so we're going to put that in for C. This will give us a squared equals 17 squared, plus 17 squared equals 21.4 squared. You can go ahead and subtract the 17 squared from both sides. So we get a squared equals 21.4 squared minus 17 squared. Finish that up and you'll get a equals approximately 13. Go on and try the rest of these and make sure you get the same answers that I did. Number 5, scale factor. So on a map, 5 centimeters is equal to 100 kilometers. So we could write that in different ways. We could write 5 centimeters over 100 kilometers. We could also write 5 centimeters as a ratio to 100 kilometers. The distance between Regina and Saskatoon is 11.75. What is the actual distance? So we can always set this up just as a proportion. So 5 over 100 is the one known side of the proportion. And on the other side, we're looking for kilometers. So we know that our x has to be on the bottom. Then you can go ahead and cross multiply. Give this a try. Note that when you're finding scale factor, it's always new over original or new as a ratio to original. If it's a fraction, these fractions can be reduced, rewritten as a ratio, or as a decimal, or as a percentage. Using the coordinate plane, so there's a few key things to remember with this. X is this axis, Y is this axis. You always write coordinates as X, comma, Y. So here we have point A. Point A is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units over on the x-axis, and that's a positive 6, because this would be towards the plus. And then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units up, so it's a positive 5. Find the other coordinates and make sure they match mine. Then we're going to draw a shape that has these vertices. So you need to place A, B, C, and D on this grid, connect the dots, and see that you get what I did. Now what shape does this form? This forms a parallelogram. Okay, then we need to start doing transformations. That's where our unit starts out. So translation is just moving the point. So here we're moving point A, which is at 2 and negative 2. 3 units to the left and 4 units up. So 3 units left, 1, 2, 3, and 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. To get there, A prime. This little symbol here is pronounced prime. Go ahead and try that with B and C. Now C is a little bit different because it says you've moved from point C to the coordinate -3, -4. Then it's asking you the opposite. It's asking you how far you had to go to get there. So to get there, you went 1, 2, 3, 4 in the negative direction, so -4 or 4 left. Then you went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'd be down 10 over 4. How many degrees in which direction was shape ABC rotated? So here what I did is I created another shape that fit exactly on shape ABC. This needs to be turned a little bit there. So now this would be directly upright or facing due north. So if I go to rotate this, I want point C here to be where point C is right here. So I'm going to take this shape and rotate it. And you can see that right there is where the point C lines up. And at that point, I have actually rotated it 90 degrees clockwise. You could also write that as 270 degrees counterclockwise if I had went this way. We're also going to reflect the shape over the axis. So for reflections, you need to count how many points away it is from the y-axis because that's what it asks us. So if point A is 1 unit from the y-axis, so we travel 1 more unit and put our new point A there. Do the same with B and C, and you'll have your new shape reflected around the y-axis.